What is going on, guys? Are you looking for a new gaming mouse but are just too overwhelmed with all the options on the market? Well, don't worry, because I got you covered. Because in today's video I'm going to show you the most important stuff that a gaming mouse should have and all the mistakes to avoid when buying a new gaming mouse. Of course, at the end of the video I will give you some of my top picks, so make sure to stay tuned till the end. Now, let's get going with the video. Now, we all know that RGB gives us around 35% performance boost, so that should be the thing that your mouse have, right? Well, sorry, but I must disappoint you by telling you that maybe a RGB mouse isn't the best option. I will explain later in this video. So, the first mistake is getting caught up with all the fancy stuff. Now, let me explain. As cool as it may sound to have 12 side buttons or a DPI that goes up to 26,000, you don't really need it. Now, don't get me wrong. As much as I would like to have a levitating mouse, it just won't give me all the benefits that a simple looking mouse with really good specs can give me. While it can be really cool to have a mouse with 26,000 DPI, let's be honest, you are never going to use it. Maybe for show off, but not for gaming. And here's why. The only instance you want to use higher DPI is to reduce mouse input latency. But with increasing the DPI, you will have to lower your in-game sense to the point where your aim feels comfortable. Mistake number 2 is debating about wired and wireless mouse performance. Now, I know for a fact that a lot of you think that a wired mouse will give you low latency, or some of you just don't want to have the painful experience when you need to charge a mouse in the middle of the game because it lost all the power. So let me tell you that that isn't a problem anymore. I think it's safe to say that wireless mice are taking the lead over wired mice when it comes to performance. After some research online, studies have shown that the mouse with the lowest latency actually is a wireless mouse, which is really good to see. So I think it's safe to say that you can lose the cable and upgrade to a wireless mouse without any debate. Now, I'm not telling you that wired mice don't have any advantages to them, because they surely do. They come at a cheaper price, they have lower weight, and most importantly, you don't have to worry about your battery shutting down because you just plug in your wire and you're good to go. Even though it is really cool to have a wireless mouse because you don't have a cable and you have the free space, there are a lot of wired mouse out there that have the cable under 1 gram, which you don't feel, rather just see it. Jumping to mistake number 3 is looking for software and DPI rather than the sensor. Now let me explain. The sensor is the main part when it comes to the smoothness of a mouse on screen. Now, if you have a newer sensor, it will be much more optimized and smoother than an old sensor that some might still use for some reason. So rather to look for the biggest DPI or a new software, which we will talk later in the video, really put in the effort to look for some really good sensors and really do the research about them, because there are a lot of articles online that you can look up or tutorials on YouTube that can tell you a lot about the sensor. Now, going to mistake number 4 is not knowing your hand. And I don't mean literally not knowing your hand, but rather the mouse grip that you use. So there are 3 mouse grips: the claw, the palm, and the fingertip. With palm and claw being the most used, there are some fingertip players out there, so I do think these are weirdos and they don't really know how to use their hands, but who knows, maybe there are some good players that use it, I don't know. Now, after you know which mouse grip you use, I want you to measure your hand. And no, I'm not joking, I literally want you to take a ruler and measure your hand. Now, I will tell you why. So it is a really simple explanation. There is a lot of sizes when it comes to mice now on the market, so I don't want you to buy a mouse that is too big or too small for your hand, because that can really ruin your experience. Now, if you have a fingertip grip or a claw grip, you want to search for something higher. But if you have a palm grip, you would like to search for something much lower, like the Glorious Model O, because that will make you a really comfortable feel. Well, it is personal preference, but that is just my opinion. So now when you know your hand, you have some kind of understanding how large of a mice you need. Now, if you want to check a mice that you like on the nearby local shops around you, that is awesome, but not everyone has that option. Now, I do think for understanding what mouse shape really fits your hand is by trying out new shapes, new mice, and really new designs of mice. Because some designs are a lot wider, some are a lot taller, and you know where I'm going with this. Now, I can without a doubt say that wrist and fingers will adapt over time to your new mice, and maybe that will be your new best gaming mice. But keep in mind that you can always upgrade for better and have a much easier and better experience when it comes to gaming. For mistake number 4, we have being sucked in the RGB life and not buying a mouse because it doesn't have RGB, or buying it because it does have RGB. So I told you at the beginning of the video that RGB can be really cool, but sometimes you need to sacrifice looks for performance. Now, there are a lot of gaming mice that have RGB and are still pretty good, but most of the producers have stopped using RGB in their gaming mice because it puts too much weight. For example, the Razer Viper series or the Logitech G Pro X Superlight. Now, as cool as RGB is, there is some more useful factors when it comes to determining your new gaming mouse. And one of them are the switches. As most mice use the standard Omron switches, there is a better option. And I fell in love with it. They are the 8.0 Calyx switches. They have a lot better clickiness, they are much more durable, and they have an amazing feel to it. Now I can give you a sound test if you like. My favorite mic that I'm currently using, it doesn't have any RGB, but it is one of the best mouse on the market based on specs. It is called the XM1R and it is made by Endgame Gear, and I can tell you that it is amazing. So it comes at only 50 bucks, which is really affordable. But I want to say that they will release the newer version, which is wireless of course. It is called the XM2W and it will come later in 2022, so I will suggest you wait for that option, but you need to keep in mind it will come around $100, but as the looks of it, it will take over the wireless mouse market. Now, going to the last mistake is having a software may not always be better. So, as it is really helpful to have multiple profiles or easy accessible macros on your mouse, it isn't always the best option. Sometimes the plug-in and play approach may be more convenient when done right. So software might be really heavy on your system resources, so it may not always run your profile until the app is running in the background. Also, I have experienced many times for the Logitech G Hub not to start, so I had to reinstall the whole program, which can take a lot of your time if you have a slow internet. So it is really nice to have a fail-safe save all your mouse settings to the mouse memory. So that is where on-mouse customization is really appreciated, and I would like for other brands to implement that in their mice as well, but it is how it is. So now that we have went through all the mistakes, I would like to give you some of my top picks for 2022 when it comes to gaming mice. So coming at number 1, I can without a doubt put the XM1R on top. Now, the XM1R will be on top until the XM2W releases, but for now, XM1R, the best pick for gaming mouse. It comes at only 50 bucks, it has all the specs that you need, and it has a fantastic shape for claw and fingertip uses. Now, below the XM1R I will put the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, and the reason for that is, it comes at 160 bucks, and the only thing that's better from the XM1R is that it is wireless. So I really think that XM1R has a better value to it, but some people just recommend the shape of the Logitech mice, so I will not stop you. It is a great mouse, definitely go for it if you have the money. Now, coming at the third place is the Razer Viper Mini. It is an excellent mouse, and in my opinion it is the best mouse that Razer has ever done. So it isn't as expensive as the G Pro X Superlight, but it is a little higher in price than the XM1R, but I really do think it is a really great mice and it will not disappoint you. Now, that are some of my top picks I will not give you more than 3 because that will be too much option to choose from. So in my opinion the XM1R is the king of mice right now until the XM2W, so definitely go for it. But if you really want a wireless mice, I will go for the Logitech G Pro X Superlight, but if that's too expensive for you, then go for the Razer Viper Mini. I think that are the top 3 mice on the market right now and you cannot go wrong with them. So that will be it for this video. Please let me know if this video was helpful and if I helped you find your next gaming mice, and I would really appreciate it if you leave a like on this video and go and subscribe to my channel, because we are growing so fast and I'm really thankful for you guys. And as always, thank you for watching and I catch you in the next one. Peace! Thank you guys.